Hello, wonderful students, and welcome to this tutorial on submitting assignments in Fundamentals Writing and Literature. Now, since this is a little bit different than you probably haven't encountered anywhere else, I wanted to make this tutorial to help kind of guide you through the whole process. This way there's a little less confusion, and this way you can hear me talk about it and navigate through everything. So that way, if you're at some point during the process and you're like, what am I supposed to do again? Well, you can turn on this video and watch it to help you out. So first off, as you can see, in this sample class, because I have a sample student right now, his name is Chris Circle, and so that's who we're navigating through the ELC as. And this is a sample class that I can play around in. I test things out in here, so if you ever wondered what that looks like, here it is. So as you can see, in this class, I have two assignments that are coming up. We have a history essay, and here's the pre-final and the final with the rubric. Now, first off, the final and rubric, this is where you submit your final draft of it, and this is also where the rubric is. You see, when I grade your assignment, basically we go through a process. First off, you write the essay or short story or whatever the big writing assignment is that we're working on. When you've done that, basically you've created a pre-final. You've made a draft that is the best that you can get it. You've looked at the rubric, you've used all of the techniques that I've taught you, all that great stuff, and then you upload it as a pre-final. Now, as I said, the rubric is here, so if I want to go ahead and take a look at that, I can come over here, and as you can see, it gives me the due date of the final, but don't worry about that quite yet. The first thing that we need to worry about is just this rubric. So this will show you how you're being graded on the final version of this essay. So it gives you all of the criteria, and yeah, there's a lot, but it's very specific, so that way if you're like, I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do, well, now you know exactly what it is that you're supposed to do. This also helps you once you've had it graded to kind of figure out, okay, wait a minute, I have a 97. Why don't I have a 100? If you come in here and you look at it, you can actually see what's going on. So back to this. The first thing that we do, like I said, is upload the pre-final. So let's go ahead and do that with Chris Circle. Let's open this in a new tab. And as you can see, Chris Circle has an attempt. He hasn't done anything yet, hasn't been graded. Here's the due date. Also lets us know how much time is remaining and whether or not, anything is there. Obviously, there's nothing yet. So first thing that we do is click Add Submission. Now on this page, we're brought to a place where we can add in files. There are two different ways to do it. The easiest is drag and drop. So what we do is we open up a file explorer, or on a Mac, it looks fairly similar to this, and then you would go ahead and navigate to where the file is. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I will pick you back up in a second. Alright, so I've navigated to where my essay is, and as you can see, I have two versions of it, and that's because on the ELC I like to put up PDFs for my samples, and it's a sample paper. But to make things easier for me to edit, after all, I do some pretty cool editing stuff if you haven't noticed it already, I want you to go ahead and upload it in an editable format. So in our case, that is a .doc, .docx, or .rtf. Basically, if you use Microsoft Word, it's the default format, and if you're using Pages, you'll need to export it into something that Microsoft Word can open, and those are the typical formats that would work. So all I need to do is click down on this with my mouse, and as you can see, it shows me it's dragging. I drop it, and boom, my essay is uploaded. Then I would click Save Changes, and just like that, Chris Circle has updated his submission. So here we have, it says it's submitted for grading, has not been graded yet, and it also has a timestamp as to when it has been uploaded. This comes in really handy because, if something's going on, you can always see on Thursday, November 5th at 3:58 p.m., this is when I did things with this assignment. Cool thing is I can see that too. And then if you ever wanted to look at the file, you could actually click on it here and take a peek. Now that we've done with this portion, let me show you what happens once I've done a critique on it. So basically what I do after you've turned this in is I open it up, I add some comments, and then you can see how you can improve. After all, let's be honest, all of us can always improve, including Mrs. Cannon. So hang tight and I'll show you that in just a sec. All right, so it's been a few days and, well, okay, theoretically it actually hasn't been a few days. It's been like 2 seconds since you heard my voice last. Anyways, now I have graded the paper so Chris Circle can come back in and take a look at the edited version of his pre-final. So to do that, he would just come over here, click on pre-final, and voila. As you can see, we still have the information up here of what he submitted, and it shows now that it's been graded. So all he needs to do is scroll down to feedback, and here's what he'll see. First off, he earned full credit. Yay! That means he had everything that he needed in the pre-final. Though, just so you know, in pre-finals, typically you do receive full credit unless you're missing something pretty major, like if it is an essay, for example, and you're supposed to have a works cited page. If you don't have a works cited page, then you might lose some points. But for the most part, I'm more interested in seeing your work and giving you some feedback as opposed to grading it at this point. Anyways, it shows you when it was graded. It shows you who graded it, so you get to see my picture. Yay for you. And then, of course, feedback, comments, great essay, be sure to check out the draft for me. And here's the feedback file. So basically, Chris could click on this and he would see a draft that has some notes from me on it. It'll have different ways you can improve. It'll have things that you've done very well and just some general feedback. After all, Mrs. Cannon loves reading things, and so sometimes when I read, I like to what they call interact with the text, which basically means that I write down things that I'm thinking as I'm thinking them. So anyways, that's how you find the critique version from me. Now, imagine that Chris has already gone ahead and made the changes that he needed to make and improved his essay. The next thing and the final step in this process is this. It's time to upload the final draft. So let's go back to the main course, and here let's click on Final and Rubric. Now remember, we clicked on this before just to look at the rubric. This time around though, we want to go ahead and submit the final draft. Now remember, the final draft needs to be your absolute best work plus the improvements that you can make in it. This way it is the best that it can possibly be. So we're going to scroll on down to the bottom and click Add Submission. Now here, it's just like it was before. You can either click this button to go ahead and add a file, but let's be honest, the easier way is to just drag and drop. So I'm going to go here. Here is my essay. Remember to do it in .doc, .docx, or .rtf, so that way it's in an editable format for me. Upload it, save changes, and just like that, it has been submitted for grading. It shows me at the bottom what time I submitted it, and it also shows me the document itself. So then all you have to do is wait for changes, or wait until I grade it, and then let me show you what happens at the very last step. Now imagine with me again that a little bit more time has passed, and now all of the finals have been graded. So if you want to see what happened, how you did, all that good stuff, here's what you do. Come back here to History Essay Final and Rubric, click on it, and as you can see, it shows that it's graded now. And if we scroll down, it'll show you your grade. Dun, dun, dun. Now in this case, you won't receive a file back. You'll just receive this filled out rubric. So that way you can see what you earned. So as you can see, we've got all these green blocks. These are the points that Chris Circle earned. Now sometimes he didn't get all credit because, he didn't do something quite right, left mistakes in there. However, he still has a pretty good grade, all things considered. So then at the very bottom, it'll show you your total grade. It'll show you when it was graded, who graded it, which is going to be me, and then, of course, any feedback comments. So that way you know what's going on. So that's basically the entire process in a nutshell, and it's designed to help you to become a better writer along the way. After all, you work hard on it on your own, you get feedback from me, you do what you can to improve, learn some new tricks, and then submit it again and show off what you know. So if you have any questions along the way, if there's anything that I can do to help you, just let me know. I'm always here for you. Have a wonderful day.